Hey everybody. So what I was planning to do for those who emailed me this morning and could not make it to class because of the flooding, thank you for that. I was going to record the lecture. So it turns out that Zoom crashed before I could start this morning, and I didn't have time to call IT and try and figure out what was going on in the classroom with regard to Zoom. So what I'm going to do here quite briefly is just go over the syllabus for you and give you a sense as to where we are headed in this course. So the syllabus is uploaded onto TCU Online. Everything is on there, so you should be able to go through that. Some logistics right off the bat. First of all, I'll hold office hours here on campus Tuesday through Thursday mornings from 8:30 to 10:30. But as I explained to the class this morning in person, we really do operate an open door policy here at TCU. So if those hours don't work for you, then please email me and we can set up a time to meet. Email's the best way to communicate with me. I'm responsive, but I don't, stay up late at night waiting for emails to come in. But when I do see them, I'll try and respond when I can. So please communicate through there. Also note that when you look at the schedule on the syllabus, I've laid out there the topics that we'll be covering. Some important dates to remember: October the 5th and November the 2nd are your two exams during the semester taken in class, and then there is a final on Thursday the 16th of December. That final is not cumulative, it counts the same as the other two exams. Okay, let's talk briefly here about the objectives of this course, what I would like you to get out of it. My intention on once you finish this course at the end of 16 weeks. During those 16 weeks, one, I will be introducing you to the major environmental issues, problems. Not everything's about problems and doom and gloom, but some of the major issues that we face confronting humanity and what we can do about them. Importantly for me, the second objective of this course is to develop a fundamental scientific knowledge and understanding of these concepts. So this is a natural science credit. It's a class in the College of Science and Engineering, but please don't be nervous if you are like many of the students that I get to see in this class and they feel that they can't be successful because they are quote unquote not good at science. This is a science course for non-majors. It does carry science credit. We are going to look at some scientific principles, but they should be totally manageable for you. Very importantly as well in this class, I want you to engage in some critical thinking about our resources and where you stand along an environmental spectrum. This and my other sections of this class are big, and we don't really have time to go into long written answers in exams, but I will get you to think. So for example, we're going to be talking about population growth and the fact that we will have another 2 billion people on this planet by the middle of the century. Okay, that's a number, but what does it mean, right? What does it mean for resources and food and air quality and our way of life? Carbon dioxide levels of 415 parts per million. So what? Is that good, bad, or somewhere in the middle? We're losing trees, primary forests, in fact, at a rate that equates to the size of Denmark every year. Okay, what does that mean? What does it mean for soil stability and oxygen supply and so on? So that's what I mean by critical thinking. I hope you're going to get to use some of that as we go through this class. Okay, learning outcomes. I know we focus quite a lot nowadays on learning outcomes. What do we expect you to exit this course with? These are the four things, right? One is to be able to, in an articulate way, describe the global environmental picture, right? So what are these major issues? What's driving them? Is it natural systems or is it human driven? Okay. As I've just noted earlier, you should have developed a strong foundation for scientific understanding. Okay. So when you leave this course at the end of this semester, you should be able to talk articulately about climate change and water quality and energy and the solutions, right? Some of these environmental issues are complicated. Some of them are actually even referred to as a wicked problem, meaning they are multi-layered, right? And you should be able to really look at that, pull them apart, and understand what's driving these, okay? And then finally, you should be able to partition out as best we can, you know, how humans interact and how humans drive these natural systems as opposed to how natural systems work on their own. So those are the learning outcomes for the course. I talked a little bit this morning about the reading material. So let me explain this. On the right-hand side is the lab manual. This is a new lab manual. This is in the bookstore, and you'll need this for lab. So you've signed up for lab as a separate entity. There are no labs this week. They start next week, and you'll be getting an email from your teaching assistant on that. So that's available in the bookstore. The text is the new text. It's an online text now. I've updated this to the 7th edition. You need the 7th edition. You can either buy the code directly in the bookstore, or you can just order this online directly through the link in the syllabus. But we will be referring to and using this book quite a lot. And I use the proceeds from this book to help our rhino initiatives in South Africa. Part of the reason why I wrote this book, as I talked a little bit about in class this morning, is I wanted to try and write something that was fun and interesting, but that was manageable and doable during a semester. So how do grades work in this class? I know everyone's keen on that. Okay, so there are 10 quizzes. These are done online. The quizzes each count 1%, right? And they are due at midnight at the end of each week. Some weeks we don't have a quiz due, so your responsibility is to make sure you keep up with your quizzes. They are open from Monday through Friday. They close 11:59 p.m. On a Friday, okay? And they are an opportunity to get to grips with the material. They come at the end of the material, right? So this is not that you have to go and read the book and then just regurgitate that in a quiz. The quizzes are the end point of the lecture material to try and bring it all together and give you an opportunity to start doing some exam type practices, right? Lab is separate. It counts 25% of your grade. And so, as I said, you'll be getting an email from the teaching assistant, and they will talk specifically about lab. I will say you cannot succeed in this course without doing well in lab, right? It counts a quarter of your grade. There are 3 exams that each count 21.67%. Again, the 2 in-semester exams and your final exam, they're all basically examine a third of the material, and then we move on from there. Please let me know if you have student accommodations. I will have gotten emails from the accommodations office from Campus Life, but if you've got something unique and you need something more than extra time, please come and talk to me about that. Please don't do this, right? This is an email I got from a student last semester, and it was related to the quizzes, and I use this as an example to please communicate with me, right? I got this email that said, "Dear Dr. Slattery, it's come to my attention that I've not done any of the quizzes, and it's beginning to affect my grade. Is there any way I can make these up?" The answer was no. This was done during study days, right? Way too late. You need to stay up with your quizzes, be consistent, and you will succeed in this course. Now, this and the next slide seem a little draconian, but there's a silver lining here. I often get asked, is there any way I can do extra credit? No, there isn't. And do you curve? No, I don't. Now that seems, well, hang on a second. That's not very helpful. Well, it actually is, because here is how I do grades, right? And if this doesn't make sense to you, please come and chat with me. I'm happy to explain it to you. So I use a grading system that's a standard grading system. So A's are 90 and above, B's are 80 to 89.99, C's are 70 to 79.99, and so on. But instead of offering students extra credit and then adding all the numbers up and not having any flexibility, like if you got 79.93, that's a C, well, that's silly, right? That's just one multiple choice exam across an entire semester. So here's what I do. I look for statistical breaks in the grades. So what you're looking at on the screen here is the grade distribution from last semester, right? So it starts off and it's the cumulative grade distribution. So the highest grade here was about a 98.5, and then you can see it goes all the way down to the lowest grade, which was just above 40. The red circle is where the A-B line was. You can see that there's a little drop there, and that was a statistical breaking between 88.2 and 87.4. I couldn't differentiate any grades either side of that, so I threw the A-B line in there. So if that makes sense, you can see that the A's were 88.2 and above, and the B's were 87.4 and below. That's why I use this, because it stretches the grade lines a little bit, and it gives you an opportunity to get into that next class without relying on just one missed question. Okay, succeeding in this course, that's the goal, right? The goal, this is in no way, shape, or form is this a weed out course. This is a course where you can succeed and do very well. But as the graphic here suggests, 90% of it is showing up, right? Be here, come to class. I don't take attendance. There's no, extra grades for showing up to class. But you can't succeed. You really can't succeed in this class if you're hoping to kind of wing it using other people's notes. So I hope to see you in class for sure. I will be giving you a study guide before each exam. So your exams are on Wednesdays, and I'll give you the study guide a week ahead of time, and I'll talk more about those nearer the time. If you're struggling in this course, or if you haven't even started yet and you want to really well, I'm happy to meet with you as frequently as you need, right? At the end of the day, what's key is communication. I can't read people's minds. I need to know what's going on so I can help you. I talked about this in class as well, the digital leash. Please don't be on your cell phones, texting, Snapchatting, TikToking during class. It's very distracting, but please do feel free to bring your laptops and bring the slide material if you'd like. I will upload all my lectures onto D2L. They'll all be on, all the PDFs will be on there, but that doesn't supplement you coming to class, right? In terms of lectures, hopefully we won't be doing a lot of this during class, but we certainly won't be doing a lot of this during class, right? My lectures are not death by PowerPoint. You won't see, bullet point after bullet point after bullet point. My slides are informative, and they're hopefully there to inspire rather than drag you through the mill. So this is, for example, a slide that I use when we talk about climate change. You'll see there's not a million bullet points on there. All of that will come in the discussion, and that's in the book. I'll talk about glacial retreat and climate change, and I think it's more interesting to look at this than just look at a whole stream of bullet points. So that's just a little bit about the slides, but I do upload them onto D2L, so they will be there. I will also, during the course, be giving you a roadmap at the start of each major section. It's a sort of 40,000-foot look at what we're going to be covering over that particular lecture or set of lectures. So I know that's pretty quick, but that's what I talked about this morning. So if you weren't able to come to class, please circle back with me, and I'm happy to meet and explain any components of this in a bit more detail. There are no labs this week, right? Lab starts meeting next week, so don't worry about that. The main thing is to come to class on Thursday, and you should be good to go. Thanks.